For the last few years, I have been traveling around Europe with this car, for which I had created a system that allowed me to fit a bed for two people inside. This system was getting too small for us, so I sold the car and I bought a small van. I decided to buy the NV200 from Nissan, since its dimensions would allow me to use it both as a camper and as an everyday life vehicle. Inside, you could put drawers, a battery system, an interior table, cabinets, clean and grey water tanks, a sink that can be converted into an outdoor shower, a chemical toilet, and a sofa that can be converted into a double bed. All this while preserving the capacity to carry from 2 to 5 people. If you want to know how I did all this, join me in this series of episodes where I will detail the entire process. The van came with a rubber surface for the floor, which we used as a template on the plywood that we will use as a floor. Once cut to size, we made a hole for the metal bar that holds the seats. It would have been too easy if it had fit right away, so we had to trim the excess carpet from the walls and make some adjustments to the wood cutouts. As you can see, the plywood didn't fit quite right, so we had to do some extra adjustments. The metal bar that secures the seats to the floor has a 45-degree angle that we had to cut into the plywood. We decided to make the floor in three parts, the two big ones that you have already seen and a small one for the back. This third part did not come with any surface to serve as a template, so we made one with papers. For a better fit, we also made holes in the plywood, so that the screws that hold the iron bar that holds the seats together will not touch the wood. This task would have been easier with a router, but back then I didn't have one yet. We also cut gates for the small bars that hold the seats in the rear, and carved their shape into them to fit well. Again, a router would have been a great help. With a few small adjustments and making a hole to pass the fingers, they were perfect. It got dark, so we finished putting the hinges inside. This time, it fit perfectly. Just gluing the three parts together, the floor wouldn't hold up for too long. So we glued on the back a layer of the insulation material that we put on the metal floor of the van. We decided to give the floor a parquet finish with this material, which we glued to the plywood, leaving the hole for the iron bar for the seats and cutting the space for the small gates with a cutter. Here you can see the final result. When you want to have the 3 rear seats, the gates are raised so that they can be attached to the small metal bars of the van. If, on the contrary, you don't want to have rear seats, the gates remain closed and can be stepped on. Getting the floor into the van as a one piece was a bit tricky, but with patience and the right angles, we were able to do it. Was bowed down a little bit, so we put a couple more layers of insulation down in the middle, leveling this way the entire wooden floor. A black iron bar in the middle of the parquet was not the best aesthetic decision, so we decided to clean it up and glue the imitation parquet on top as well. final result. The entire floor is covered with Parquet. The small doors and the metal bar allow the rear seats to be placed and the van to be used as a 5-seat vehicle.